Rotarians and friends, we're grateful for the privilege and the opportunities to be of service, to feed your sheep. Guide us and direct each of us that we may each make the most of our talents and resources and lead us to the field of service where we each can best serve you. Amen.
It's my pleasure to introduce the song, and we're going to sing God Bless America. We have Linda on the keyboard. So.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to Club 2500, District 6110, as the bell leaves us. I'd like to introduce our visitors and their host Rotarians. If you would each rise briefly and then sit down quickly. We'll hold our applause until we get through the whole group, and then we'll acknowledge them all. Host John Johnson has two guests today. From UBS, his son Brian Johnson, and from Prescott Group Capital Management, Phil Froelich. Phil Viles has brought a longtime friend, Gina Sauerjohn. Marlene Leviday has brought from Tulsa Shop, Donovan Retta. Tony Oliva has brought from Ion Associates, Daryl Perkins. Karen Keith has brought a guest from Morgan Stanley, Josh Hurley. Rhonda McDaniel has brought her assistant, Whitney Collins. Whitney. Almost full-time, Whitney. Matt Morton has brought his guest, Travis Cody. Tom Klenda has three guests. We'll keep it in the family. Wife Carol, Michael, his son, and a guest, Don Horner. Rhonda Daniels has brought from Morrison Company, who are doing our internal audit right now, Graciela Manango. Graciela, where are you? Fellow countryman there. An Italian from Brazil. Joy Longmire has brought her husband, Mike Longmire. Rob Berry has brought a colleague, Bob Frame. Sid Shupak has brought his wife, Susan. Jeff Robler has brought a friend, Paul Storm. Tim Lyons brings a co-worker, Dave Aldrich. Mark Short brings a guest from Reading Partners, Barry Maxwell. Got it right, Barry. Scott Philstrip brings a friend from Fred Russell, Dan Dixon. Jerry Bates brings a co-worker, Jason Boyle. And John O'Connor brings his son, John O'Connor. Don Woolsey brings his grandson, Kyle Roberts. Karen Keith has another guest from the Sports Commission, Vince Trinidad. Tim Nall has brought his wife, Barbara. And Doug Walker brings his guest, Katie Sylvester. Welcome all our guests. Let's give them a round of applause. Visiting Rotarians from the Sunrise Rotary, let's say hello to Martha Lowe. Hi, Martha. And from the Southside Rotary, let's say hello to David Cobb. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
We welcome you all. Come back anytime.
Thank you, Jerry. I always hold my breath when you're up here. What is he going to say next? All right, I'd like to take a moment to thank today's Rotary sponsors. We have Matthew Bristow with Clear Ridge, LLC, and Elaine Moore-Jones with Moore's Funeral Home. We encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. In addition to today's sponsors, let's also thank our volunteers whose service made our meetings run so well today. So let's give them a hand of applause. We don't have any committee meetings today, so you get a break today. So you can go right back to work. A few announcements. Congratulations to Michelle Goski and Sandra Mullins for completing their Blue Badge task by observing the past Monday's board meeting. Today is your last call to sign up to bring a guest to hear President David Bourne on September 17th. So be sure to sign up if you're bringing a guest. And if you haven't already, be sure to mark your calendar for October 1 is our City of Clinton off-site visit. This will be a very special visit this year. We are dedicating our playground improvement at 11 a.m. in Mike Chittum's memory. So that we have enough food for everyone, be sure to put your name down. That's not just your guest, that is you and the guest on your sign-up sheet that's on your table. Now, if Curtis Craig would come forward, please, and bring the new member to the stage. And thank you, Jake Dollarhide, for doing the new member orientation today.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to introduce Mr. Tom Schwartz to our club. Tom moved to Tulsa in July from Houston to take over the Oklahoma operations of Marsh & Clinton Property and Casualty Insurance Brokers. Marsh has been a long-term supporter of the IVA Awards, and we thank you, Tom, for that continued support. Tom was a former Rotarian of the Woodlands, Texas Club, and looks forward to serving his new Tulsa community through the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Tom is married to Ivana, and they reside at 1824 East 31st Place. They have 2 children, Hadley, who is attending Trinity University in San Antonio, and Charles, who is attending Oklahoma University in Norman. Tom, I'm proud to hand you your Rotary pin and Rotary 4-way test, and welcome you to the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
Get him on the YouTube video. That's why I have to scoot him up here. Not that I'm being a mother or anything. Okay, now for some side mic announcements. I will start with Mark Short. If you'll come up to side mic, and then followed by Charles Seacrest and then Alicia Herrera.
Thank you, President Rhonda. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to reemphasize what President Rhonda said about the meeting out of the City of Clinton on the 1st. This will be a particularly special. It'll give you an opportunity to see our playground project and how well that's turned out. My favorite part of that, as you may recall, one of the basketball courts has goals that are adjustable and they can be lowered to about this high. And, until you've seen a 3rd or 4th grader dunk a basketball, you really haven't seen one dunk. So, Coach Rick, no offense, I know you got some guys that are okay at that. Anyway, we've been working for 2 or 3 years to really enhance our mentoring out of the City of Clinton. I'm very excited to tell you that this year we're working with our reading partners. If you follow local news, that most of the schools in TPS have real challenges with their students reading and their reading comprehension scores. And so this will give us an opportunity to work within a really well-constructed program to help those students at City of Clinton out. So it's my pleasure to introduce Barry Maxwell. Barry is the Executive Director of Reading Partners, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the program and how we can help out.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and talk with your club today about this service opportunity that we have for you out at the City of Clinton. So thank you very much for having me here today. So I'd like to start out just by asking how many people here think that reading is important? By show of hands, please. How many people think reading is important? Okay, that's great. Now, how many people here can actually read? That's great, that's awesome, because that's all you need to be able to do to volunteer and be effective, is to be able to read. So we need you out of City of Clinton. And I think, everyone has heard about the reading challenges that we have here in Tulsa. It's not isolated to Tulsa Public Schools, but Tulsa Public Schools has been dealing with this issue for a while. And as you heard last year, 34% of the third graders that took the state reading test did not pass. So that's a pretty serious problem. But on top of that, only 47%, so less than half, actually scored at a proficient level, meaning they were reading on grade level. So less than half of the third graders at Tulsa Public Schools are reading at grade level. So, and at City of Clinton, those numbers are even worse. I hate to say that, but they are. So last year, 57% of the third graders at City of Clinton did not pass the test. Almost 6 out of 10 did not pass the test, which means they did not demonstrate even limited knowledge and reading. And that's a serious problem that we have. But you can make a difference, and that's what I'm here to talk about. You can make a difference just by spending an hour a week helping a kid learn to read. You can help to transform that child's life. Reading is a critical skill. As you know, it is the foundation to all other learning. So to be able to learn in other subject areas, you need to be able to read. So we need help out at City of Clinton to help kids learn to read. And what you do, we set up a reading center at each school. And it's staffed by a site coordinator that is trained on how to support and coach tutors to use this curriculum that we have, that is a research-based curriculum that has been proven to be effective in helping kids catch up in reading. And this is just a sample of one of the lesson packets. So we assess these students, see where they're reading at, and then we place them on our curriculum based on that assessment. And then you start working through the lesson plans with them. And the lesson plans are designed for volunteers that have no education background, or is not people that are not educated, to be effective. It is scripted, it is structured, everything that you need is in this little packet to do the lesson plan with them. The lessons take about 45 minutes each, but we ask for an hour a week because there's a little prep time when you get there to review the lesson plan before you can start tutoring the student, and then you have some qualitative notes to do at the end of the session. It is hugely successful. Last year was our first year in Tulsa. We were in 9 schools, served 449 students. This year we're in 15 schools, and we want to serve over 700. Last year, 95% of the students we served accelerated their rate of learning, and 79% narrowed their gap. The more volunteers we have, the more students we can serve. As you can see, well, the visual's gone, but to serve 40 students at Kendall Whittier, we'll need about 60 volunteers to be able to do that, because not everybody can tutor twice a week. The students are tutored twice a week for 45 minutes, but we ask volunteers to commit to at least 1 hour, because not everybody can volunteer twice a week. Now, some people can. That's why we have to recruit about 1.5 tutors for every student that we serve. So I just ask that you consider being a volunteer, and it is a very meaningful volunteer experience. You'll love it. And also, many of you represent some of the major companies here in town. We would love to come and do presentations at your companies also to help us recruit tutors for our schools. And Tim can tell you from Williams, they've adopted Sequoia. We love for companies to step up and actually adopt one of the schools that we're at. So again, thank you so much for having me, and we look forward to having you out at City of Clinton. your table, you'll see this card. It says November 5th Visitation Day. And sent out an email this morning. It was very strategically sent out to 450 people, so if you haven't get yours, you just haven't looked yet. But great response from everybody. Really excited about the opportunity to chair this committee because you get to know so many different of you, and the encouragement and seeing so many people being able to participate is really great. If you haven't had a chance to sign up, obviously take advantage of the card on your table or two, look in your inbox, and I will be happy to visit with you about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Alicia, what's going on?
Well, district conference is coming up in 2 weeks, and we are putting together some silent auction baskets. We have two, an OSU basket and an OU basket. We're looking for items to put in our basket. Right now, we have some really fun OSU homecoming tickets for the OSU basket. We don't have anything for the OU basket. I'm not surprised necessarily by that, but if anybody wants to step up and help us out, you can contact myself, Trisha Kirkstra also, I'm not sure where she is, you can get with Trisha also. Anything, I mean, memorabilia, obviously tickets to games. We're trying to put together some really nice baskets for the auction, so please get with one of us and let us know if you can help us out. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Now we have past President Linda Bradshaw and Brad Ackerman. What do we have up here?
Well, we're going to be quick because I want to hear Coach Brooks. So, Jerry Cornelius and Tim Colwell have been busy writing and collecting material for a centennial book that's going to be absolutely fabulous for everyone here. But I found out that Brad Ackerman is a real junkie. He's been out on eBay, he's at antique shops, he's in flea markets, and he has found an amazing cadre of Rotary Club of Tulsa memorabilia. And so, dating back to 1915. So, Brad, tell us a little bit about your items you found.
Thank you, Linda. Yes, my wife would probably say I'm a hoarder. I told her she knew what she was getting when she married me. Her reply is, well, eBay didn't exist because we'll celebrate our 24th on the 24th. So, yes, I'm a Tulsa collector, and it's always been my intent for these items to wind up here. It just seemed to make a lot of sense to do it now rather than later. So the first item, I'll just give you a quick synopsis here. This is the bell not rang today. It's from 1923. It's a gift that we gave to the Oklahoma City Club. And I found it on eBay, and it's cracked, and the top has been repaired. So they didn't take very good care of it. So when we have our joint meeting with them, we may want to discuss that with them. One of the crown jewels of the collection is this 1915 sterling silver tray that we presented to Allen D. Albert, who was the international president at that time. He came to visit us, traveled to Tulsa by train. He was visiting some of the clubs back then. So obviously this is a one-of-a-kind piece that, like I said, is probably the keystone of the collection. And then lastly,
these are not door prizes.
Piece I just acquired just about a month and a half ago, maybe, off of eBay. It's a badge from Wallace Robinson, and Wallace used to have the Robinson Hotel here, which was one of Tulsa's first structures of any place to stay. And he left there to form and head up the Hotel Tulsa with a group of investors. And as many of you know, we met at the Hotel Tulsa for 50 years. So I was real pleased to get this piece and bring it back home. And one interesting thing on it, it's got on the little wheel, it has a little red thing that says a bright spot. So, and we still have our red dots again. So go figure.
Well, not only is this so cool that because Brad came forward and said, I've got these very cool things, Jerry Cornelius was able to photograph these. All these will be included with their descriptions and their backstories in this beautiful new book that we're working on that's going to be available next spring. We're thrilled, but we're even more thrilled that today we're announcing that thanks to the generosity of our fellow Rotarian Brad, all of these items are being donated to the Rotary Club of Tulsa Archives. They will be on permanent display at the Rotary office. So we want to thank going to be in the book, but also your pictures when we show up at Rotary Plaza in a couple weeks and take an all-member photo. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, Carl, how fast can you be?
I can be really fast, President Rhonda. I'm here to talk to you today about the sponsorship program that we have. Last year, sponsorships contributed over $30,000 in operating funds to your Rotary Club of Tulsa. As the meeting started today, you saw sponsors' names rolling on the screens. Shortly after the meeting started, you heard President Rhonda mention several of our sponsors. If you go to the Rotary website, you'll see sponsors on banners on every page of the website. Sponsorships are a great opportunity for you to contribute to our club's operations and promote your business. In the next few weeks, either Sid Shupak, Tony Oliva, or myself, co-chairs of the sponsorship committee, will be reaching out to you to find out if sponsorship is a good fit for your organization. Please consider becoming a Rotary sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. You have to move fast like a bunny, Matthew.
You know I'm not very fast.
I know.
Okay. Got some slides? So, as part of my due diligence for this week and that Coach Brooks was coming, I took it upon myself to go down the turnpike to see what the pre-season conditioning was like, get a little back information to help us here. Slight problem I encountered was a mild distraction when I got there. But the good news for everyone is that girls are in great shape. I have no idea what's going on with the guys, but hopefully Coach Brooks can fill us in on the rest there. They all send their regards. All right. So a quick reminder for everyone who's not here most weeks, all the fines announced today go to our foundation, the local foundation here, so the place it goes. I'd also like you to all check your calendars right now for October 19th, which is a Sunday, because Coach Brooks has given us 2 tickets to one of the final preseason games for the Thunder playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I brought the seating chart, and it's about 11 rows back on the lower levels. These are great tickets. We have 2 of them, October 19th, and I'll do a little auction at the end. So, first one today. Tim, I haven't had a chance to ask you if you're okay with me announcing this fine because you weren't available last week, but are you good for 25 bucks? Okay, great. So Tim Colwell and Steve August were caught in the paper celebrating it before and after, presumably, the TU Marshall game. So Tim and Steve, you here as well? Steve there, thank you very much. From Dana and Michael Burks, we got $50 to celebrate Bob Lucy's birthday on September the 7th. I did not get a chance to ask, but apparently Bob was spanky. But I don't know, that was from a movie back in the day, but whatever it is, thank you Dana and Michael Burks, and happy birthday to Bob Lucy. So thank you. Judge Frizzell, I know you're here. There he is. Judge Frizzell's son was interviewed in the paper talking about classes 3A, 4A, 5A, whether they should be split, and Judge Frizzell stepped up and gave us $50, so thank you very much. Brian Blankenship. Brian, you here? Okay, well, anyway, Brian's 4th Rotary anniversary is this month as well as his birthday, so $60, thank you very much. There's no applause today, it's like, letting me down. I'm hoping we'll get a big one at the end or something. So we have a mystery Rotarian. The deal was I could accept the money if I made no mention as to who it was other than his birthday in September, so if he knows who he is, reasonably close to me, but I'm not going to say anything more than that. Susan Meeker, $100 for her birthday on September 23rd. Susan, are you here? Thank you very much, Susan. Mark Gray. Mark, are you here? Should be able to jump up because he's very fit. Mark was named as Tulsa's Healthy Executive in Tulsa People. Now, he tried to tell me that these were his tools from CrossFit, but my understanding is that he has the whole of Inverness Village in great shape. Seems like he's more of a stick guy than a carrot guy to me. Thank you, Mark. Brad Anthemaden. So Brad was the only person, one of the few Tulsa people smiling in their recent game. Brad had a huge grin on his face. Thank you very much, Brad. Apparently the $100 is for them being #1 in the New American Athletic Conference, so go TU. Thanks very much, Brad. Harry Livingston. Harry, are you here? Harry, thank you very much. So, Harry has his 80th birthday and his 50th wedding anniversary Sunday on September 11th, so that one alone needs a round of applause. Okay, so we have OU won the first week, OSU won the most raised last week. Jerry Stamper got the OSU tickets. So new tickets that are out there from Tim and Barbara and Al are September 13th for an OSU and OU game. OSU playing UTSA, which I hear they're a great team. I have no idea who that is. But it does have a parking pass, and you'll also get hosted by the Knolls, so it's great. Tennessee, that makes a lot more sense to me. You're playing Tennessee on September 13th as well. So if you go outside afterwards, sign up your name for the silent auction. And the final thing of the week, we have 2 tickets, 7 p.m. October 19th at the OK Center. I think 11 rows back, lower level tickets to see the Thunder play the Minnesota Timberwolves. So don't be friendly, Rotarians. It is your chance to get these tickets. So if your neighbor gets bids and you want them, you just put your hand up. So very clear, who's giving me $100 for these? 100, 125, 125, 150, 150, 175, 200, 200, 225, 250. This really is fun. 275, Jerry, 300, 325, Jake, 300. Do I hear 300 once? 300 twice? Oh, and 325, sorry Jake. Do I see 350 anyone? 350, 350, come on, 370, 375, 375, 375, 375, 350, 350. Going once at 350 with the dollar hike twice. Jake, dollar hike, 350 bucks. Thank you very much.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Come on in. All right. You all know Tom Clinda. He's past president, Tom Clinda, and his best quality is that he talks really fast.
Thank you, President Rhonda. The speaker today is Oklahoma City Thunder head coach Scott Brooks, who is starting his 7th season with the Thunder. Last year led them to their 4th consecutive division title to qualify for the Western Conference Final for the 3rd time in 4 years. Last season they had the 2nd best record in the NBA. On the last 5 seasons, they've had one of the biggest winning percentages in the NBA. 2010, Coach Brooks received the NBA Coach of the Year award, and he ranks 3rd among the winningest active coaches in the NBA with 271 Thunder victories. He's a consistent coach for 5 years with the Thunder, Sacramento Kings, and Denver Nuggets. He played 11 years in the NBA. In 1994, he was a member of the Houston Rockets national championship team, and very soon, hopefully this season, you will have an NBA title with the Thunder. In 2010, he was our keynote speaker for our Henry P. Iva Citizen Athlete Award. Now, if you look at this picture, you can see why one of the best NBA coaches really has one of the best jobs in the NBA. He gets to coach great players like last year's MVP, Kevin Durant. Please join me in giving a thunderous ovation for Oklahoma City Thunder coach Scott Brooks.
Thank you very much. You've mentioned all those things. I was thinking to myself, it's all coaches, not players. And then he shows the picture of KD up there to kind of put me back in place. First of all, thank you. Thank you. I've been here for about 45 minutes. I recognize one thing. Don't mess with President Rhonda. You notice I ran up here, looking straight ahead, and I'm going to be quick. Just like to thank the Rotary Club of Tulsa. One of the things I love to do is talking about something I love to do, is coach basketball. I was very fortunate to be raised the way I was raised. It has given me this opportunity to be where I'm at to this day. One of the gentlemen mentioned volunteer work, and volunteer work is so important. And to this day, I thank my high school coach. In 1976, I was a 6th grader. For some of you are slow, I know you're probably trying to figure out the math. I'm 49. I'm 49 now. But he gave a volunteer basketball clinic at the local community center. And from that day on, I played basketball every day. And he gave me hope, he gave me a desire, and he gave me a purpose of really staying with it. And it's important. You didn't have, I mean, everybody seems to be, you can be busy, you can have things to do, but you have to continue to give back, because you never know. It's not just the monetary giving, it's the personal giving that really makes an impact. The words, the kind words that you can say to your child or somebody else's child is so important. It can last a lifetime, and it has with me, with my high school coach, Coach Stricker. To this day, he's like a father figure to me. He's been an incredible influence on my life, and I thank him for that. I'm the youngest of 7. My mother raised all of us. My father left when I was 2 and never did see him since. So she raised me all by herself, and she gave me so many valuable lessons. You know, she passed away a couple of years, or a year and a half ago. But her lessons and her legacy will always stay with me. And saying, I can stand up here forever and talk about her. She is my hero. She's been the best coach I've ever had. But it's somebody that it's so easy to talk about. And I feel like I can share one quick story with you. And it really impacted me. I was a freshman in high school. I was 4 feet 11, 103 pounds. Wow. And I wanted to make the basketball team. So I go to basketball practice tryouts, and everybody's bigger, everybody's stronger, everybody's quicker, and they had more ability. And they were a lot taller, so I go back home. I said, Mom, I don't know if I can make it. I don't think I can make the basketball team. And she taught me a very valuable lesson that you don't use the word I can't, or the 2 words I can't in her house. And she said, you can make the basketball team. It's what you put into it is what you're going to be able to get out of it. They might be bigger, they might be stronger, they might be quicker, but they don't know how much heart you have and how much determination you have and desire you have to make that team. And so as the know-it-all 14-year-old, I'm like, okay, she's a wise lady. I'm going to give her something harder. The next time I approach her with this I can't mentality. So about a month into the season, I'm practicing, I'm watching the varsity practice, I'm thinking, man, I'll never make the varsity team. These guys are pretty big, stronger, they're quicker, and they don't like freshmen. They're mean to me, and they're picked on me. And so I'm going back, I said, Mom, there's no way I can make the varsity team in a couple of years. She says, no. You are going to make the varsity team. And not only are you going to make it, you're going to have success. So fast forward a couple of years, I made the varsity team. I was one of the best players in the state of California, and I ended up going to college and on a full ride. So the last 2 years I attended UC Irvine in Newport Beach area of California. So that hope gave me an opportunity to continue to fight and live my dreams out. And so now, fast forward again another year or so later, now I'm saying, Mom, I want to make the NBA. There's no way I can make that, right? At this time, a year later, I'm like 5'6". And I'm thinking, okay, I got her on this one. There's no way she's going to agree with me. She's going to give me the hardcore facts, and she's going to break my heart, but she's going to be honest with me. No, she said, you're going to make the NBA. Why not? Why can't you make it? Somebody has to make it. Somebody has to make it. Back then, they only had 23 teams and 275 players. They said, you could be the top 275 players in the world if you really put your mind to it, you work hard, and do all the things that put you in that position to make it. Looking back at it, that's such an important lesson to learn, that the difference between I can and I can't. So it's just another letter, but it's that letter that really sometimes it takes people and don't want to put their best foot forward because they don't know, they're not sure that they can do it. But it's so important to listen to the people that put you in that position, and I listened to her, and I really thank her To this day, I would not be here speaking or coaching in the Thunder if it wasn't for her and her guidance. And I'm thankful for that. This is a great time of the year for being a basketball coach. Football season is here, and we're all excited about everybody's football program, everybody's professional team. But this is also a great time of the year because basketball is right around the corner. This is what we live for, preparing for the season. We're excited about this upcoming season. We feel that we put ourselves in a pretty good position to continue to improve and get better. We have great players, we have a great ownership group, we have a great management team, and hopefully you guys think we have a pretty good coaching staff. But we're excited. There's so many times I get the simple question, how's it coaching? How's it coaching the Thunder players? I think it's great. I think it's great. I think our players give maximum effort. I think they do the best that they can every night. They have incredible teamwork, and the thing I love about them, you never know what to expect because they're so young and exuberant, but they have so much energy and excitement for the game and for each other that you always know that you never know what's really going to happen after 48 minutes. So I love our guys. Serge Ibaka, everybody sees how great he is after 5 years with us, but they don't know, some maybe don't realize how he got there. The first time I saw Serge Ibaka in Oklahoma City, I took him out to dinner. I take him out to dinner, and after dinner I said, Serge, we're going to go eat some frozen yogurt. I don't know if you know anything about frozen yogurt. And Serge at that time, we got them from Congo, so he didn't speak English very well. It was like when I was talking to him, even during the games, rebound, pass, defense. I had to play like charades with him. The thing I didn't have to tell him to shoot. He loved to shoot the ball. So that's a good thing. But so I'm taking out to the frozen yogurt place. So there's a couple of different options you can pick. There's the single serving size, and then there's like the family size cup. So he didn't speak much English. We're waiting in line. He picks out the family size cup. I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to say no? Put that down. It's going to look like I don't want to pay for the extra whatever, $4 or $5 it's going to cost me. So we go to the self-serve areas, and he sees this, and he's looking like, you've heard the term kid in the candy store. This is a young man in a frozen yogurt store. And he sees all these different options, and he's vanilla, pineapple, strawberry, chocolate. He's mixing all of them. The thing is just piled up. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he's going to eat this. So now we go to the little checkout stand, and you see the little, what's it called, the toppings bar. He's throwing in, bundled up Keith bars and blueberries and gummy worms and chocolate raisins. He just has this thing piled up like he's going to serve a family of 10. So we check out, and I'm thinking there's no way he's going to eat this, and he's eating. And he's eating, and he's eating, and he is eating. I'm thinking this guy is going to be on a sugar high. He's never going to get any sleep. So he leaves about a quarter of it left. And I said, Serge, ready to go? He says, oh, Coach, and he can't speak good English. Later? And I said, what do you mean later? No, eat later? I said, Serge, that's frozen yogurt. It's not going to be able to, you can't eat it later. It's either now or you have to throw it away. And it was such an impactful moment for him because I realized how he needed somebody to help him make this transition from coming overseas into Oklahoma City. And it made an impact on me as I coached him in that first year. But what a great guy, what a great example of how work hard every day, keep progressing every day, and you're going to eventually be happy with the result. And Serge Ibaka really exemplifies what we're about here at the Thunder. Russell Westbrook, I get that question. How's Russell? How's coaching Russell Westbrook? I love it. I love it. How can you not love a guy that's competitive? How can you not love a guy that leaves everything on the floor? I can love a guy that doesn't like 29 teams he plays against. And every night, the thing I love about Russell that not a lot of people see, when you introduce Russell to a young child or somebody that had an unfortunate situation, he melts. He gets on his knees, he talks to the young kid. He's such a charmer when he's around kids, and that's how I judge all of our players. How do you treat the people that you meet? It's easy to make a basket. It's easy to get a rebound. It's easy to make a great pass for a great assist for a win. But how do you treat the people along the way that put you in the positions to be successful? And Russell Westbrook treats kids like I've never seen. What a great inspiration, not only to me, but to all people involved in our organization. KD, I mean, the MVP speech. So many great things on so many different levels on how cool that was. Talking about his mother, talking about his upbringing, talking about his teammates, his coaches, and he even said he liked his coaches, which was pretty cool. So, and that's always a good thing. And the thing I love about KD, he has like 5 times, I think 5 years in a row, an All-Star, MVP. He's won part of 4 division win teams, 4 consecutive division titles. An MVP, I said that, NBA finals appearance. He has so many important things that you want individually, but he still thinks team. He still cares about his teammates. He still cares about what the coaches are telling him. He still cares about what he is as a role model, and I love that about him. He is the most humble superstar I've ever been around. All the great players I've been around, all respect to them, but I've never been around a player so good and so humble. And sometimes I look at him and I say, hey, do you realize you can get me fired if I say something that you don't like? But you know what? He wants to be coached. He wants to be coached every game. I get on him about defense. I get on him about rebounding. I get on him about making an extra pass. And he listens always. He's never, ever given any coach or myself a problem. He's always wanted to do the right thing. And I'm so thankful for that. I think we're all so lucky and blessed to have him represent our state in the way he has done in the last 6 years. It's really exciting to see and take part of that development that he has had over the last 6 years. But I'm thankful for him and our players. Last, before I leave, we're going to spend some time with questions. I know a lot of you probably have a lot of questions. I ran into probably 6 or 7 people, and I know that I'm one of your guests. But I felt like the 6 or 7 people that you guys were my assistant coach. You guys are telling me, okay, yeah, I like when you do this, I like when you do that. I'm not so sure about that move that you did. I like that. So this is open for some question and answers. Please, give me some softballs so I can hit out of the park and make you look good. She just told me this. That's on YouTube. So, any questions? Yes. Can we find a center? I think we have excellent, we have 2 good centers right now, Kendrick Perkins and Steven Adams. As a coach, you try to develop the entire team, and you can't have every position that wants to be a great scorer. You can't have every position that that's the only thing he's going to do is set screens. Well, we have a good mix of players. What Steven and Bert brings, they bring toughness. The one thing about NBA, you have to be tough to be able to survive. You got 4 and 5 nights, you got 8 and 11 nights, and sometimes you have 17 and 28 nights. There's a lot of games, a lot of different cities, and you put a lot on your body. So I think what those 2 guys bring, they bring an incredible amount of toughness that put us in a position to win every night in the NBA. They're not great scorers. Steven, obviously, is a young and developing player that we're going to continue to develop and push him. Burke is not a great scorer, but he sets great screens. He's a tough defender in the low post, and he's a team guy. Sometimes people criticize that he doesn't score enough, but his role is not to score. But I wouldn't put him in a position to have him be a scorer, but that's not his strength. His strength is toughness, his strength is defense, and his strength is leadership in the locker room.
Tell us about the new players and what you expect their impact to be.
Well, tell us about the new players and the impact that they expect to be. I think we've had some great additions. Sam Presley, our general manager, has done a phenomenal job of putting this team together over the last 6 years. The thing that I like about our new players, they're going to fit in perfectly with what we have. We have a very good basketball team. And I say that in a very respectful, modest way. I mean, we got guys that are really committed to strive for excellence. And we know that ultimately we want to win the championship. There's 29 other teams that still they want to do the same thing. We can't skip steps. We have to really take the proper steps to get to that position. We feel like we're contending every year, so it gives us an opportunity. Our new players, Mitch McGarry is a draft pick out of Michigan. We're excited about it. He has a good feel for the game. He's a young player, but we're not afraid to coach young players or play young players. Don't know how many minutes he's going to play. We have the whole month of September and October, and that's going to kind of work itself out. Anthony Morrow is one of the best three-point shooters in basketball. He's a high three-point shooter at all spots on the floor. He's not just a corner three-point shooter. He can shoot all areas of the floor. The thing I love about some of the draft picks, Josh and Samaje, they're all team guys. One of the things that you will all see with all of our players, they're going to be team guys. They're going to be guys that you can cheer for night in and night out. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they never give me any problems. But for the most part, they are going to be committed to getting better and helping each other play well. Yes, Ibaka is playing for Team Spain right now in the World Cup. It's actually in Spain. And Russ, I was with Russell last week or 2 weeks ago at UCLA, working him out and Kevin Durant out. They were out there both working out, and they both look great and they feel great, and Russell's fine. Yes.
What's changed in the game since you played to where he's played now?
What's changed in the game since I played and the way they play now? And there's so many things. Money. Although my first contract, I thought I was the richest guy in the world. I thought I hit it big, and I was so excited. I signed my first contract. It was a non-guaranteed contract for $75,000 for the year. But that was a lot of money back in 1987. A lot of things changed. The physicality has changed. It was I don't know what it was back then. It was a little bit of football / basketball. It was physical. It was you hurt after each game. Guys were looking to hurt you on back screen, especially the little guards like myself. Big guys, they were looking and searching out. It was like, okay, there he is, get him. And the rules kind of prevent that from happening. It's a cleaner game, it's a smoother game. The athletes are so big and strong and quick. But it's still a game of basketball. If you don't play together, you're not going to have success. If you don't do it on the same page, that has not changed. But I mean, the music's definitely changed. It's fun. Our locker rooms are great. I love locker rooms. That's one thing I miss. As I retired 2 years after my retirement, I had to figure out what I wanted to do because I don't want to, not do something I'm not really passionate about. But that's one thing I miss, being in the locker room of an NBA team.
Coach, I'll give you and Mr. Presley all the credit in the world. You guys have brought in incredible quality character players to Thunder in a market that embraces quality people with high character. Having said that,
okay, there's always a having said that, but
if we get to free agency time with KD without a title, championship title, what do you think the odds are of them staying on the season?
If we get to, I'll have to repeat the question, right? Yeah. Can I skip this question? Yeah. if we, in 2 years from now, if we don't win the title, what odds? Maybe, it's 2 years from now. A lot of things can happen. And the way I look at it, a lot of great things are going to happen. If you wake up every day and worry about all the bad things, you know what's going to happen. All the bad things are going to affect you for that day. And so I've always believed that if you expect good things are going to happen. And one thing about our team, we work every day. We're not perfect. We have some tough losses and we have some great wins, but we're always the same. We're always focused on getting better and playing for each other the next day. 2 years from now, that's a long time from now. That's something that I'm not really paying close attention to. I know KD as well as anybody knows him, and he plays the game that he loves, and he loves it here. I've never heard him say one bad thing, and I'm excited to coach him. I'm excited going into the season. Yes.
Can you describe the process you go through with the team after you've had a great win, and the process you go through after you've had a loss where they haven't performed?
Describe the process going through after a great win and after a tough loss. I think we have 82 games, and when you look at a schedule, I look at it as 82 big games. And the reason why I do that, as a player, I used to remember that when we played these bigger teams that were better records, you always sense that there's something different. And the coaches were like, oh, we're ready to go. We're going to hit them, and we're going to hit them often, and we're going to keep hitting them. And then when we play a team that doesn't have a better record, the coach didn't have the energy and the enthusiasm for that game. And I always felt that at the end of the season, it always separates one or two games from making the playoffs or getting a better seed or getting the #1 seed. So you have to approach every game as it's a big game. And no matter who we play, that's what we do with our scouting department, with our preparation work, with our practice planning, with our game film, with our halftime. Everything is always focused on this is the most important game. Stay in the moment and focus on this game. After great wins, I talk to the guys. I mean, obviously, I'm excited that we won the game, but I always want to have them give respect to the opponent. Just because we beat them doesn't mean that we have to embarrass them or make them feel that that we're superior. Respect the game, and the game seems to always give you what you want back from it. After tough losses, that's always, you're going to have 82-game season, you're going to have a couple of tough losses, you're going to have stretches where you wish you didn't have to go through, but you have to go through. You have to look at, face on, identify the situation, and talk through it. And I've always felt that honesty is the best policy with all of our players. Who played well, who didn't play well. Talk to them in front of the group, talk to them individually. But after tough losses, I talk to the group, hey, it's a tough loss. It's not the end of the world. There's a lot of more important things that are happening out there. I know it feels bad. I know it's tough to swallow right now, but we're going to wake up tomorrow morning. We're going to give ourselves another chance to win tomorrow night.
Coach, in the playoffs, there seem to be two weaknesses or lacking, shortcomings. Bench scoring and scoring underneath. Can you comment on that, please?
In the playoffs, bench scoring and scoring underneath. We try to, I think we ended up last season as the third or fourth best offensive team in basketball. And bench scoring, I thought it was in the middle of the pack. It's an area that we are going to always continue to develop and get better. In the playoffs, it's tough. Western Conference is really good. There's so many good teams. There's probably 2 or 3 teams that don't make the playoffs that are really tough to beat, especially on their home court. So we always try to figure out ways to get better. We've had a whole summer thinking about ways to improve our offense. We were third last year. We're looking at ways to, maybe we don't get to second or the first in the league in offense, but maybe we get better playing, different style, maybe more opportunities for other guys to touch the ball, more passing involved. It's something that we've improved over the last 3 or 4 years. Sometimes the narratives sometimes say differently, but we were 30th in league in assists 3 years ago, and we went down to, I think, 22nd. I think last year we were either 13 or 14. Hopefully next year we make another jump in that direction. Low scoring, it's something that we're always working on. I think Kevin and Russell have done a good job of getting better in that spot of the offensive floor. It's not easy said and done. There's not a lot of local scorers in the league. If you have one, you try to keep them and keep them forever. There's only about 5 or 6 of them in the league, and right now we're trying to develop some. Yes?
I'm really sad to see Sepulosha go for the next season. What's your plan on filling that gap with such a great defensive starting player?
The question was, are you sad to see Pablo go? That's the tough part about my job. Every October you're going to have to tell between 5 and 6 guys that they're not good enough to make our team. And those aren't easy conversations, no matter how you program yourself to think going into that conversation with that player. And then the next toughest is trading players that you grow attached to. But that's part of the business. It's part of the business. Players move. Players get maybe a different opportunity, maybe a better contract, maybe a better playing situation. Those are all based on players that are free agency. What we believe in, you still have to develop what you have in case those happen, so you have guys stepping in. We have great options. We have opportunity to start a lot of different players at that position. And with the way our team is made up, we can go with a player that's a little more skilled offensively, or we can go with a player that's skilled defensively, or we can go with a guy that kind of does a little bit of both. So I think any given night, we have a position to maybe look at different players at that spot. That's basically a political way of saying I'm not going to tell you who we're starting to keep on. Yes. Now I've been waiting 20 minutes for you to talk.
Here I am.
He's the one that grabbed me, the assistant coach right here.
Talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder Foundation and what impacts that has on
You know, it's something that we're proud of. I don't know the exact number I'm saying. I'm going to say 3 or 4, maybe even 5. We've led the league in community service work. And it's something that our ownership has given us a great platform. Our management, Sam Presley, has put us in a position to do that. There's no doubt. We want to win basketball games. We want to win divisions. We want to win championships. But we still want to have we still want to take the responsibility as a community organization. We want our community to be involved, and that's the great thing about the state of Oklahoma. I realized that early on, that this is about us doing the right thing every day. And I think I'm so proud of to say I'm coaching a group of guys that look into the community. We're not telling them to do it. We're not forcing them to do it. They have choices to make, but we put on our board before, right outside our locker room, event, book bus, event reading, event admission, event homeless shelter. Those things get filled up so quick. As I see that, it's like, wow, how lucky we are to be, or how lucky I am to be coaching a group of guys that believe in things not just basketball. So we're one of the best in the league, and I take a lot of pride in that. Any more questions? Yes.
Could you measure the economic impact that Thunder has had on the state and even Oklahoma City?
Is there any way to measure the economic impact? If I was that smart to tell you a good answer, I wouldn't be coaching basketball. That's way above my IQ level. I think it has. Just from my level, I think it has. I see the shirts, I see the spirit, the pride, so much community pride with the Thunder. I mean, it's the playoffs. It's like I see this from the first time we made the playoffs against the Los Angeles Lakers, and to last season when we lost to San Antonio. It seems like every playoffs we wake up and go to work the next day needing a nap. Because the games are so late, there's so much emotion that goes through that, there's so many highs. There's highs within a quarter. And I even look at sometimes there's highs within a 24-second shot clock. But we love it. We love it. We're passionate about it. We care about it. I think it has a major impact. I see it, just the 6 years I've been the head coach, I've seen the difference that it has made, and I'm thankful, for you guys to support us. It wouldn't work if it wasn't for the fans and the fans out there supporting us the way that you guys have. And I thank you for that. Any more questions? One in the back.
What are your thoughts on Becky Hammond joining the Spurs coaching staff and opening the door for women coaching in the NBA?
I think it's great. I think I followed her as a player. She's a terrific player. A smart point guard that could shoot. She was a lot better than I ever was. I couldn't shoot. I wasn't very smart. Couldn't play defense, but somehow I made it. But with her, I love her spirit. I mean, I don't know her. Obviously, has hired a star in the making. As I hire people, I look at as coaches at what they bring to the table. And we have a great staff. I'm sure she's going to do very well in San Antonio. Shooting a big three, or is there any way to bring in another player that you're saying to make a big three? Obviously, Kevin and Russell are great players, and you don't win in the NBA if you don't have a great team. And we have guys that step up and fill that role night in and night out. Maybe not the same guy, but there's plenty of nights that Reggie Jackson has a good game, Serge has a great game, Nick Collison steps in and has great games. He does so many things that make winning, that impact winning. So we look at it as a team. I don't look at it as Russell and Kevin. I look at it as a Thunder. And we have a good group of guys that are committed to the Thunder way. Yes.
Coach John Lewis spoke to us.
Wow.
What have you received from his life that impacted you as a coach?
Many things. Obviously, I've read most of his books. I had the pleasure to be in front of him in one of his clinics. So many things that you can pick up, not just basketball, but life lessons. Another thing, just offhand, is work hard today. I'm going to paraphrase it, I don't have the exact words, but the thing that I really believe in, work hard and do your job today, because you can't do it doubly the next day. Don't waste today, because today is the most important day. You can't go till tomorrow and I'm going to go extra hard. I'm going to go extra hard. If you can go extra hard tomorrow, you should do it today. Those are many good lessons. That's one big lesson that I've learned from him. He's one of the greatest men to coach all sports. John Wood. Any more questions?
Thank you, Coach. We were so excited to have you with us today, and we really appreciate all your comments and your stories. I love your quote that you said, expect good things and good things will happen. So as we leave today, we need to keep that in mind and every day. A book recognizing today's program will be presented to our school, Sylvia Clinton, and it's called The Lightning Thief. Very appropriate. Next week we have David Bourne with Oklahoma University, and then the next week, September 24th, we are doing Bartlett and G.T. Bynum. We'll talk about the water in the river, plus what? Photo shoot. Okay. As we conclude, give a lesson to a few bars from one of Oklahoma's favorite songs, Garth Brooks' Thunder Rolls. We are adjourned.